Ever since I started this channel, I've covered plenty of African airlines and provided the spotlight that they deserve. I have very fond memories flying TAC Angola's 777 to Lisbon, or Air Tanzania's brand new 787 Dreamliner, or being part of Uganda Airlines' delivery of the Airbus A330-800neo from Toulouse to Entebbe. To keep it short and simple, aviation in Africa is on the rise and full of great stories waiting to be told. Air Senegal had a rough past. Established in 1971, the airline stopped operation in 2009. It re-emerged in 2011 for a short while as Senegal Airlines and ceased operation in 2016. Back to its original name, the flag carrier took the sky in May 2018 again, featuring one of Africa's most modern and youngest fleet. So today, I will fly Air Senegal's flagship, the Airbus A330-900neo from Paris all the way to its capital Dakar. So please get on board and join me on a trip to Africa.
Guys, and here I am, a beautiful good morning from Paris. My African aviation tour is just about to start. What I do find though very disturbing is on this very day today, it seems like that the Russian invasion of Ukraine has started. My grandmother is from the Ukraine, and this is probably also terrible news for the people in Ukraine. And I always have my vlogs as a reminder of where I have been during what time. And though we're going to fly Air Senegal today, it's going to be a happy day, I'm sure this is going to affect all of us and our travel plans perhaps for this year. So I just wanted to capture it. Anyways, today we're flying to Dakar, so let's head to the airport.
Yeah, these kind of news always send some shivers down my spine, to be honest. I spent some time in Afghanistan myself, multiple visits there, or spent the Arab Spring in Egypt, and it's always like quite of a terrifying event, especially for the people who are there. But anyways, let's go to the airport and let's fly to Senegal. It's my first time to Senegal. Very excited about it. Hi, good morning. Just checking out. Oh my god, it's freezing in Paris. It's like 5 degrees, but I'm already dressed in shorts, destination ready. Woo! Luckily, it's just a small walk.
Move forward to the end of the platform.
So I was literally just walking in Terminal 2 because I knew Air Senegal was leaving somewhere from Terminal 2. Right behind me, first check-in counter, Air Senegal to Dakar. I booked in economy class, but let's see, maybe they have some upgrade offers at the gate, but get slightly excited. But I think before the check-in starts, I'm gonna grab a coffee. Hey, how are you? Is the flight full today? Yes. Yeah? No, I like to sit in the back. It's on purpose. That was easy and quick. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Well, that was easy and quick. The whole check-in procedure took literally 1 minute. So all checked in, super excited about going to Africa, super excited about going to fly Air Senegal. The plane just arrived, which is the only Airbus A330-900neo operator in all of Africa, Air Senegal. But yeah, the check-in process was super easy, and I haven't had a breakfast yet, but I do really crave a good McDonald's breakfast, a hash brown and a sausage egg McMuffin, my guilty pleasure. So I'm gonna get some energy, and then I am very curious to see the cabin because the plane from the outside looks very promising already. So I hope the cabin is just as exciting. So I'm sitting here right at the gate, enjoying my coffee, having a beautiful view of the Airbus, and just checked Expert Flyer. The flight is absolutely packed, so there's definitely somebody going to sit next to me. So I'm not sure how that person is and how cool it is. So I might not be talking as much once I'm inside the plane, or it will be a lot of voiceover, but we will find out, because privacy always comes first. And yeah, also like closely following the events unfolding in the Ukraine, which is devastating. and can have a massive impact on civil aviation as well, with a possible closure of airspace. Probably by the time I post this video, we are 2 or 3 weeks into the war, and we probably know a bit more than we already do. But it's heartbreaking, and it does affect me emotionally. I know what people must feel like there, and how helpless you might be, because nobody wants to live in such situations. And me being to Afghanistan and many war-torn countries before, it's always something where I said I'm so lucky that I was able to grow up in the West. Partially, my mum, my mother, my family are refugees themselves. I know what it's like. So yeah. Anyways, but I'm going to Africa. I'm going down south. I won't be as affected of this, but I will be closely following it. Sorry to make it all political, but that's my vlog about. I talk about my feelings, and I talk about how I feel. And one day when I look back at this flight or at this video, I show it to my kids one day, and they ask me, "Hey Josh, where have you been when World War III started?" And I say, I was sitting in Paris about to board a plane to Senegal. Still very excited to go to Africa. Can't wait what this plane, this bird has to offer. So, and also before we're boarding, how much was the flight? $280 US. Usually it's around 350, but the day I picked was rather cheap, and a flight in business class on that plane was $1,000, which I was not willing to pay for a 5-hour flight. But the main business, the core of an airline, is happening in economy class. So see how it goes. Haven't seen much videos. I think Simply Aviation once did a review on Air Senegal, but that's about it. But yeah, very much looking forward to the flight, so let's head to the gate.
But before we board this beauty, let me introduce today's sponsor to you. Today's video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. By using a VPN, you surf the internet safe and anonymously, and you get around censorship all around the world. Whether you want to use Instagram in China, make WhatsApp calls in Dubai, or access TikTok in India. And it works on all of your devices too. My favorite perk is finding cheaper flight deals by simply changing my IP address with Surfshark VPN, saving me hundreds of dollars every year. Surfshark also helps me to watch all sorts of live streams, sport events, and gives me access to all Netflix libraries from all around the world.
Match day 34 in the 20.
And the great news is, by using the link in the description box below, you will get 83% off and 3 additional months for free, which is a great offer. Now, let's go back to the review.
Passport. There you go.
Is it you?
I lost so much weight, you wanted to say, right?
Have a good trip.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So the gate agent is already in a good mood, so let's see how it turns out to be on board.
My boarding experience would pretty much set the tone for the rest of the flight. While business class passengers were able to board the plane, nobody was stationed at the second door. The jet boost was filling up, and after 10 minutes ground staff would show up because nothing was moving. Also, the cabin manager came from the front, and he was surprised to see that the crew was still chilling in the back, not giving a shit that 300 passengers are waiting to board the plane. When the crew finally showed up, they felt heavily offended that they were called to work and displayed their worst attitude. Such a shame and such terrible behavior.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
How are you? This way. Yeah, 39. Hey.
But here we are, welcome on board this absolute beauty of an aircraft delivered in late 2019. It features a brand new cabin with 21 seats in premium economy and 237 in the back. I also got a glimpse of the business class cabin when I disembarked the plane, which features 32 seats in a 1-to-1 configuration, very similar to what Uganda Airline offers.
So guys, and here we are. Welcome on board Air Senegal's Airbus A330. They have two of them. This one is owned by the airline. The other one is owned by Fly, which is like a Portuguese airline that's leasing planes to airlines when they're short of planes. Because this one was operated, or the other one they have was used by Pakistan Airlines when they were not allowed, or they're still not allowed to enter European airspace. But this one is fully owned by them. And yeah, we have a 242 configuration with really grumpy crew. They don't really seem to be awake yet. However, we were waiting in the jet bridge for quite some time because they totally forgot that we were boarding. So this one crew called the crew, which was still chilling in the back, and then they came and started boarding. But yeah, the cabin, however, is beautiful. It features a business class, a premium economy class, and 237 seats in a 242 configuration, as I said, here in economy class. Flight is going to be super packed, so there's definitely somebody going to sit next to me. But hard product, amazing, outstanding. Soft product so far, quite of a letdown. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, let's see how it goes. There's not even any boarding music. It's really, really quiet in here, which is strange. But yeah.
But let me give you a quick little seat tour, and Air Senegal did a fantastic job. Each seat features personal entertainment, a shared universal power outlet, as well as a USB slot. The plane also offers Wi-Fi connectivity to some really steep prices though. However, the internet wasn't working the majority of the flight. That wasn't an issue though, because the in-flight entertainment was pretty solid and offered a great variety of movies and games. I was rather impressed.
I always find it exciting when you know that the cabin is full and that you definitely have someone going to sit next to you, and then you're sitting here eagerly waiting, and then you see all those pretty people walk past you and say, oh please, please, please sit next to me, and then you always get the weirdo, as I did on Nepal airline.
My seat neighbor turned out to be a really nice guy, and once everyone was on board, we started our pushback. Now it's also a very good time to subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss out on my Africa tour. I promise you it's absolutely worth it, and a lot of great content is coming your way.
So we are probably 45 minutes into the flight. Meal service started. It's literally just a sandwich, an apple juice, and a tea. Maybe there's going to be a proper meal like prior landing in Dakar, but yeah, well, they're going to show off a little more here on this journey. But God knows, maybe later it's gonna get we're gonna get a proper meal. We'll see. Now let's try the sandwich. So the situation here in the loo is a bit gross, and so you have all the crew right in the back of the galley, chatting, having a good time. They're being so lazy. I mean, it started with boarding when they were supposed to be on their stations, and the cabin manager actually had to call them because they said, "Oh, guys, get to work, please." And yeah, instead of like looking after the bathroom, the loo, what they clearly don't do, they just leave it in a state of a mess. So yeah, it's pretty disgusting here, pretty gross. It smells. Yeah, as much as I love the plane and the hard product, and I'm so happy that Air Senegal has a pretty cool airline, the crew is just super lazy. There's no energy, no fire. Considering, right, in Air Senegal, or like being in Senegal, it's quite of a privilege to work in such a job and get to see the world. Now, since they have flights to New York and Paris and Geneva is on the list as well, and then they just don't appreciate that, right? But there are so many other people who would love to get that opportunity to see the world, travel the world, and work on such great. But so yeah, quite frankly, so far it's rather disappointing, because I was like, oh, you know, you would think for a newly established airline there would be like a greater, better spirit than from what I experience here on board. And I say that hopefully somebody of management sees it and they do something about it, because look at this. The state of the bathroom pretty much stands testament for today's flight. So, like 3 hours into the flight, things are improving a little bit. I've been serving a meal. There was a choice between chicken or fish, but they totally forgot to serve some drinks. So the service is so uncoordinated that we left without any beverages.
I then tried to get the crew's attention to get a beverage, but it seemed she tried to purposely ignore everyone who doesn't speak French, since a family in the middle row complained about the same issue. Probably something the crew department should think about and perhaps train their crew accordingly.
Giselle's been so rude. Instead of like saying, oh, sorry, I apologize, she's like, what do you want? So crew on Air Senegal.
However, apart from the awful crew, the food turned out to be really enjoyable.
So in the recent months, I've been very lucky when it comes to economy class travel, because I always had like a row to myself, or at least an empty middle seat. But since this flight is packed, and I usually put my bag under the seat in front of me, so I can barely stretch my legs. But now, luckily, the guy went to the loo. I can stretch my legs a little bit. You know, I mastered my economy class game, in the sense that I always somehow find a row to myself, and with the help of expert flyer, or just by getting a seat in the very back of the plane. But it doesn't always work, and when it doesn't work, you can feel it in your knees. So what's the plan? 2 nights in Dakar, and then I continue this Africa tour to Nigeria on Air Côte d'Ivoire, like the national airline of Ivory Coast, with a stopover in Abidjan, and to Lagos. That's gonna be fun.
Ayant besoin d'assistance sont invités à rester assis. Nous les assisterons à la fin du débarquement. L'aéroplan de Cahill lu bañ a ko wàcc ba noppi.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, thank you.
So I made it to the city. My first impression of Dakar looks quite interesting, adventurous, nice. And a friend of a friend of a friend picked me up. He had that organized to get me from the airport. And there's one thing that's for certain here in Africa is that hotels are crazy expensive. So you'd be looking at $400, $500 a night at any of those chain hotels. So what I always do is get Airbnbs in Africa. You find a lot of decent ones. It doesn't matter where you go, and they're very reasonable priced. So if you look at hotels in Africa and you be like, oh my god, I can't afford this, or you don't want to stay at some weird unknown hotel somewhere in the city, then try Airbnb. That is usually what works for me here in Africa. Yeah, I'm going to show you the Airbnb once we get there. We're still like now waiting for my host to meet us here. So the driver is looking for her while I am sitting in the car. So yeah, but yeah, it looks cool. A lot of old cars driving around here, like Renault, Skoda, like cars that were very popular when I was like a teenager. And it's great to see them still driving here in Dakar, Senegal. Pretty cool. Have you been in Dakar? Let me know in the comment section below. So just made it to my Airbnb. They're just sorting out the parking situation because apparently there's some construction going on, but I'll show it to you in a bit. So, and here I am at my lovely Airbnb. That's where I'm going to stay for 2 nights, and then my next flight is on Air Côte d'Ivoire, the national airline of Ivory Coast. What do I say about Air Senegal? Beautiful hardware, terrible software. So I think it still requires a lot of crew training. And I mean, I mentioned it throughout the flight, how and where they can improve, but that was quite of a letdown. Other than that, love the plane. The airport is pretty cool as well. Can't wait to depart from it on Saturday. And yeah, I think it was a good start, a great start to my African aviation adventure. Still a lot more to come. Air Peace, on Mozambique Airlines, Malawian. So it's not going to get boring on this trip. That I can promise. If you want to support my work, please check out my Patreon in the link here. The link is in the description below. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and wherever you're off to, have a safe trip.
Stay away.